We're going to spend a little bit of time and talk to Ryland, his brother Logan, dad John. There's some pretty staggering statistics. According to the CDC, there's about 750,000 children that suffer from epilepsy, which is a brain disorder that causes seizures. Jeremy, who we'll talk to in a couple hours, he had hundreds of seizures just like your son did, John. Walk us through the second you know something's wrong and you bring him to all children's. Can we start there?
We have to back it up a little
All right, let's back. Okay, we'll go wherever you want to start. That's fine.
So September of 2009, Ryland's 2 years old. We get that emergency phone call from the daycare. He's fallen backwards, bumped his head, and they think he just fell out of a chair.
Right.
By the end of the day, he had 2 more seizures. He didn't bump his head. He actually started having seizures, started his bout with epilepsy. So first day was 3. Within 4 months, he was having about 100, 120 seizures a day.
I can't even imagine. And having seen someone have one, I can't even begin to imagine watching your child have that kind of experience. Because one, like if you've ever seen it happen, especially to a child, it is the scariest thing in the world to me. I can't even imagine what you had to have gone through when that many happen each day. And so obviously we know something's wrong.
Definitely something wrong. We started out with medications. By January, he was 4 medications, maxed out to body weight.
Yeah.
Couldn't lift his head off the pillow, still having just as many seizures on the medications. So we call all children's. Same day, we get shipped to all children's. We walk in, it's after 10 o'clock at night, the doctor's in the room. He's waiting on us. It wasn't around, he was there. He was there the entire time. It was amazing. He diagnosed it as Deuce syndrome epilepsy. And 3 weeks later, never had another.
God, that's amazing, isn't it? And that's the sort of stuff that happens here day in and day out. You come in panicked because you've witnessed your child have over 100 seizures in less than 24 hours, and in a lot of cases, a couple weeks later, they're on the path to getting better, or they are better. And that's because years ago, people gave money, which led to better treatment, which led to better research, which led to cures, which led to the things that we're finding out now, which led to you running around and probably playing with your friends and not, worrying about this. Now, are you, Logan, are you older than Ryland?
Yes.
And so did he witness any of that before you got to the hospital? It's the scariest thing in the world, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's having seen that, it really is frightening, isn't it?
Yep.
And so it's got to be, although brothers get on each other sometimes and brothers are brothers, it's got to be a pretty good feeling to know that your brother's going to be all right now after all that, right?
Yep.
I mean, no kid should have to go through it. No dad should have to go through it. No brother should ever have to see his brother go through that. What would any of you, and Ryland, we'll talk to you in just a second, what would any of you say to those that are sitting at work right now or sitting in their car that they've been on the fence about, should I give, should I help out, should I not help out? What would any of you say to them?
Probably starting with, it's a hospital we never received a bill from.
Yeah.
We would have paid anything.
Yeah. Yeah. Ryland, so how much, being 8 and it happening to you that young, how much, do you remember any of it?
No, not really.
You know what? I think that's a great thing, though, don't you? I mean, your dad and your brother can, they can certainly, I'm sure, tell you about things that are happening, but I think that's great that, that's outstanding that you didn't remember any of it, because that's scary, man. That's great that, so how often do you have to come back to the hospital? Does he have to, I assume you're on a special diet, I guess, and that's part of the treatment that has created him not having to have seizures anymore?
The diet's called the ketogenic diet. Dr. Wine said he's a doctor from here. He wrote books on it. I found it on the internet, and that's where it all just started, just just from a book. And so they weaned him off the medication. They put him on a diet. Once the diet was fully, in place and we were running on all cylinders, the seizures stopped. And we ran that diet for almost 2 years. And then we weaned him off the diet. Now he's on nothing. He's just a regular kid.
Wow.
No medications, no diet, no seizures.
Wow. You'll probably never know, it's great, I think, in one way that you'll probably know, you'll never know everything you went through and the miracle that you are. But Ryland, you are living, standing, breathing, physical proof of the miracles that happen here each and every day. And this is exactly why we have to raise money. They don't turn anybody away, regardless of their ability to pay. That money goes to research for better treatments. I mean, if this was like 1960 or 1970, we wouldn't know about this diet. We wouldn't even have half the drugs or treatments that we have. And we certainly wouldn't be sitting here celebrating that Ryland is totally okay, and that's why it's so vitally important that today we give money so that we can continue to research things and give treatment. So, when we get to 2020, 2030, 2040 down the line, there won't be any of this, We were talking about leukemia yesterday at length because we had several parents that were talking about not only their kids being in remission, but no sign of it anymore. That would have been unheard of even 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago. So these are the miracles that happen each and every day at this hospital. These are the miracles that you can be a part of. 1-800-270-8642. Ryland, what would you say to somebody out there that's been on the fence kind of thinking about giving? Or do you have anything else that you like to say? I feel, we talked to your brother and dad, but they went through, I know you were the one that went through it, but you were so young. I think it's a blessing that you don't remember any of that. But I don't want to leave you out either. Do you have any thoughts on maybe if you give out the phone number also, it'll start ringing in the background?
1-800-270-8642.
In honor of your healthy child that is not going to go through what Ryland and his dad John and his brother Logan have been through, I think that alone is worth giving the $15 a month. We talked about it yesterday. It's 1 6-pack. It's a couple of those fancy coffees. For me, it's one less trip to the vending machine every couple of days. You just throw it on a credit card. We can get you in and out off the phones in less than 2 minutes. But if the phones don't ring, we don't raise the money that needs to be raised. And keep in mind, all of it stays here. They don't turn anybody away, regardless of their ability to pay. And there are several parents pacing the floor above us on the 7th floor right now, wondering if their kids are even going to be home for Christmas. Think about that for a second. Your biggest problem right there sitting at your desk is you're probably worried about what to get your kid for Christmas. There's parents that they would give anything in the world to just have their kid home. Forget the other stresses we think we have. They're wondering if they're even going to be able to get their kids home. Let's give for them. Want to? We're going to set a new goal of 17. We're going to try and get 17 Miracle Makers before 3 o'clock. That'll get us back to the pace that we need to be. We can still put you in the running for that Lightning experience, 4 tickets to the game, the opportunity to meet a player after the game as well. But the bigger thing is there should be 17 of you that wants to save the life of a child because you would literally be doing so. Are there 17 of you that'll help us? 1-800-270-8642. Give it to me one more time, Ryland.
1-800-270-8642.
1-800-270-8642.